Babe! Babe!
Yes?
Come here for a minute.
Hey, hon.
What's up, baby? Break was crazy today.
Was it?
I'm so hungry. Did you fix some breakfast for me, baby?
Oh, I'm so sorry, babe. I was trying to get ready to go do this vlog with Lewis, and let me whip you up something real quick, okay?
Was you serious? Like, real quick? Like, you knew when I was going to be home.
I know, but I got sidetracked. I had to try to get dressed real quick so I could run up there. I got to go far today, so, I just...
Here we go again with all that. God damn. It's so simple. It's if I come home a certain time, fix me something to eat. Like, what the hell? Then you all dressed and dial baby up. You must have been in the mirror for a couple of hours. Then you getting ready to leave?
I mean, let me just give me like 5 minutes. I can whip you.
Every time it's what the man, I bring this money home. I'm so sick and
Get together.
So here's what I would like to do. I'm trying to figure out how to reach a broader audience. So do you have any ideas as far as how we can just get more followers, more subscribers?
There are a lot of ways that you can get more subscribers, but it really is based on the content of the show. And so you have to take a look at the content of the show.
Hey girl.
To really...
Hey. Sorry I'm late.
It's alright. I'm used to it.
Oh, you tried. How's everybody? How you doing, okay?
Good, how are you? Good to see you.
Yes.
Good to see you too.
So yes.
So there's a lot of ways. It just really is about the content. So you really want to look at the titles of your shows, the topics that you're talking about. You want to look at the locations. And so when you put all of those things together, then you make a better show. How long is the show?
Tina, what's wrong with you?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
You want to take your glasses off, baby? 'Cause I don't see no sun in here. You see some sun in here?
No? You all right?
Yeah, yes, I'm fine. Go ahead. I'm listening.
No. What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
So you gonna sit there and lie to me like I don't know you? What happened? What happened, girl? You gonna take these glasses off?
No. Just, I'm okay.
What happened? What did he do? How long has this been going on?
2 years?
2 years? You've been around me for more than that, and I ain't never seen you like this before. You mean to tell me you've been suffering all this time?
Yeah.
How many of you are out there that's suffering in silence on a daily basis with no one to talk to about your particular issue? Just dying on the inside.
It's a huge epidemic that's going on all over the land. It's ridiculous, and it needs to stop.
Yes.
Because now I'm mad.
And I'm mad too. Speak up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of You Mad the Vlog. I'm Tina. And that's Lewis. And we thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. Before we go any further, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, beloveds, okay? At the end of this video, hit that little bell down there if you're already subscribed, or if you do subscribe, so that you can get notifications of our videos when they are uploaded, okay? We getting ready to get into something real serious. Something that's going on. It's universal. It's not designated to a certain sex or person or age. Everybody go through it. Silence of the Lambs, baby. So, how many of y'all can relate to the young lady who came into the meeting all disheveled, all messed up inside, but still was trying to keep it together? Because life goes on, and you have to somehow drudge up the energy to move on and carry on with life. And you can be dealing with the most detrimental, horrible, oh my gosh, issues at home. Because most of the time it's at home. Mm-hmm. It's at home. Mm-hmm. Whether you're married or single, it all goes down at home. How many of you guys can relate to that young lady?
Remember that movie, The Women of Brewster Place?
I remember, but I don't remember it. Remember it.
You remember the end when they was chipping away at that wall? That was the most powerful part of the whole movie.
Come on,
they
Jericho.
took them pipes.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay? And they took them pipes and chipped away at that wall, because that wall is what was causing a lot of drug trafficking, rape, abuse, everything. And they said, we're going to take this wall down. And they took whatever they could find in their hands to chip away at that brick wall. And that's what some of your lives are like. Every day is something chipping away at you, killing you. You in a relationship that's killing you. You are giving yourself away every single day to somebody that don't appreciate you. You can be overworking yourself in the church. Hello? Just making yourself available for everything because you need that void of wanting attention to be filled. Or you want the pastor to be your mom or your dad because you didn't have one.
I can't.
And so you're going to do whatever you can to get that attention, so you'll kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
I have a lot of examples.
I mean,
you hear what I'm saying? Because this is real. This is a real situation.
It's very real.
To fill those voids in our life, we will do things that we don't have the strength to do. We don't have the time to do, but we'll overwork ourselves just to get that void filled.
And even so, let's use, for example, the abused woman in the beginning, okay? So you have this woman who's getting beat up for 2 years. Yet and still, she has to go on and carry on with life. When you suffer like that, that is so, like, it eats you from the inside out. You know, one of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of Hagar. And I was down for Hagar. I know most of the people would probably be like, well, no, Sarah was evil to set that girl up like that and then get mad at her when she got pregnant and then try to throw her out into the wilderness. Ma'am, you created all of this. But even in Hagar, even in her sin, you know, the sin of adultery and fornication, her child was still blessed and went on to have his own nation. Like, even in all of that silent suffering, God still heard her cry and kept his promise to her. That's powerful. So no matter what you're going through or whatever you're dealing with or experiencing, all God wants you to do is come to him. You know what I mean? So if you feel like you can't talk to a person per se, go to God and he might show you who you can talk to. It's different avenues and different ways to get all of that out of you. If you suffer in silence, it can kill you. It can create disease in your body. Never in my life have I seen so many instances of cancer. Where did cancer come from?
It's a spirit. Here I go.
Where did it come from? We make ourselves sick. We make ourselves sick not only by what we eat, you know, as far as food, but what we eat as far as just daily living, what we take
our
in.
Words.
our words, things we accept from people that we shouldn't accept,
things that we won't forgive. Hello.
Now that right there will fester in two.
I'm telling you, I know someone who would not forgive her father, and he's a preacher, would not forgive her father for all of the neglect that the family suffered through so he could preach and be a successful pastor. And before long, she grows up and gets older and a disease hits her body. Immediately, most of us knew how it happened because she refused to let go of the bitterness.
Go ahead.
Because you know spirits are real. And we're not backtracking into the last show, but you got to understand that the spirit realm is the causal realm. So, that's where it begins. And it's only a matter of time before it happens in the earth realm.
So one of the most detrimental points in my life, detrimental is the word of the day, I guess, is when I was in college. I experienced a lot of suffering in college. I was alone. I was away from my son. I had to deal with, school load. And then I was in a relationship with someone who put me through the ringer. Okay. So I didn't really. And then in addition to that, here I am, a church girl, child of God, battling with trying to fit in the world and also trying to maintain my Christianity and relationship with God. So much was going on.
Okay.
So much was going on. So when I would get back in my dorm room, well, I had an apartment at that time because I was older. I was a senior. The breakdowns that I would have, like I'm welling up.
Listen,
the breakdowns that I would have.
People don't understand.
In that room. As I closed my eyes, I could see the room. I could see me sitting on the floor, crying with my knees in my chest, just crying. I would turn the stereo up loud so people couldn't hear me screaming and crying. Just turmoil, just so much turmoil surrounding me. Had nobody to talk to because nobody would understand. Nobody would understand, okay, so if this person treats you so bad, so why are you still with him? Because there was a love for him and there was a thought that things would get better. Had nobody to talk to about it, nobody to mentor me as far as, what it is to have a relationship, what you should look for. Everything that I've experienced in life, I had to learn myself. Nobody told me. Nobody showed me the way. It was just pray. Oh, you ain't supposed to be doing that. No, talk to me and tell me why I have this strong love for this person who treats me like crap.
Yes.
Why do I have this strong? What is it that attracts me? Which we already talked about in previous videos. So here we go with the spirits again. How do you balance being a young mother away from her child? How do you put aside the guilt of being away from your child because you're trying to make a better future for yourself and for him? How do you deal with that guilt of not being around your child and not feeling like a bad mother? How do you focus on your schoolwork and you're dealing with all of this other stuff? Like, it's just, suffering is like it's the worst. It's just the absolute worst. And when you have nobody to talk to, yes, we can talk to God, we can go to God, but sometimes you need a person who is touchable, who can talk back to you and give you something for what you need in that moment. Because if you don't have that, you will break down. I had a nervous breakdown on the floor with a bottle of pills in my hand.
I know it.
Ready to what?
Come on.
To what? Silent suffering. We got to speak up. We got to speak up. You can't hold it in. It's going to literally kill you.
And you can't worry about how you'll look to someone being transparent like this. Do you not know? I told y'all before, when you were transparent like what she's doing, this is how you bless people that you may not ever meet. But this is how you get the word out. just what she's doing. Be real with your situation. Don't hold it in. You got to share it with somebody.
You have to.
If you feel in your heart to share it, I'm not even going to be spiritual and say if you hear God say to you. No. Right. If you feel a tugging on your heart to be transparent, do it. Because you don't know whose life you're saving.
It's a matter of life and death.
It literally is.
Life and death.
Like for real.
Literally. If you're a woman who's being abused, say something.
Come on.
To somebody. You got to talk to somebody or it's not going to stop and somebody is going to die.
Because if that man say to you, if I can't have you, no one else will, that's your death wish right there. Mm-hmm. And you better find a way, baby. I talked about Tina Turner. You better take that 36 cents, put it in your pocketbook, and roll, bounce.
Be out.
Do you hear me? Because when they say that to you, that's a murderer. That's a murdering statement right there. You better get out. Wow. And even the men who are in abusive relationships, because that's real too. Mm-hmm. You love the woman so much you keep taking all her crap. And if she hits you, you know you can't hit her back, but you take her abuse. There's men out there that go through that.
Absolutely.
And the constant nagging and whatever you do is not good enough. And your sex life is just non-existent. So you just bound up all over the place.
Yes.
Suffering in silence.
Sometimes the strongest among us are the ones who smile through silent pain, cry behind closed doors, and fights battles that nobody knows about. Speak up. Another type of suffering that I notice, and I think it's because growing up with a brother and now my 2 sons, the suffering of black men. I have such an affinity for black men. I just have such a love for them, and I feel so bad because I don't care what nobody say. This world is prejudiced against them. This world is built up to hold them back economically in every way. It's set up in every way. Who's in the jailhouses? Who are in the jailhouses? Why there are no fathers to these children out here? These young men feel like they have to deal drugs to make money. But and it's just like nobody, they feel like they don't have anybody to talk to because they'll be judged. They can't go to the preacher man because what he gonna say? You can't go to church because you're gonna be judged, first of all, of what you got on. That's first and foremost. Why your pants sagging? Why this? Why that? Why you got grills? Why your hair like that? Like
why you got tattoos?
Oh,
why you got earrings in your ears and your nose?
Like the silent suffering of these young black men,
That's an epidemic right there. I'm telling you.
That thing makes my heart burn and it break. I think about my sons. I think about my brother, and I just be like, I can only imagine what it is, not only to be a man, because I've heard that it's hard to be a man, but to be a black man in this America? The silent struggles of that in itself. These people, again, they have no one to talk to. So they turn to what? Gangs. Because it's like a family. People think gangs is about killing, which it has got really stupid. You fighting over territory that ain't yours. But the root of it, the main purpose of gangs being formed was to have that brotherhood, that familial, relationship with somebody who understands that, man, I don't even got $5 to get milk for my son. I can't even get my man Pampers. You know what I'm saying? It was that familial bond. It wasn't about shooting nobody up because they got on red or blue. It was about finding a
family.
Oh my God!
Because
they have no father, so the cycle continues. Generational curse.
See, and it's like when you a black man, you born a black man, you lost anyway.
Already.
So imagine being black and gay. Oh. Could you imagine? Now, we did our transparent moment in episode 2. But could you imagine not only being born a black male, but gay? And nobody understood you? Do you know the loneliness? Surrounded by a lot of women, but lonely because I never felt a part of anything. It's a loneliness that comes with this. Baby, it takes power to walk in loneliness. Power. that you can still survive and not want to kill yourself, and because nobody gets it. The church just automatically, oh, you're gay, you're going to hell. But when you pray, the hand of God moves. When you pray, the devil backs up. Oh, but you're going to hell. And then out in the world, oh, he's a faggot. I don't want nothing to do with that. Do you not know that even gay people are prejudiced against each other?
I believe it.
They are the pickiest of the pickiest of the pickiest.
The nerve.
And that's why I never understood why straight men get so upset if they find out somebody's gay. Just because you find out that somebody you know is gay don't mean they want you.
I mean.
Please. If you don't get nothing else from this video, get that. Hello?
I want you, sugar.
So I had several struggles. Oh, God. Here's my transparent moment.
I'm not doing this.
So I had several struggles, not only growing up gay and being ostracized, but I had a skin issue.
Beloved, you better go ahead and grow. Oh my gosh. What?
I have a severe skin issue. She's probably going to cry because she knows how I feel about this. And I promised myself I would never talk about this. But if it helps one person, y'all can laugh after I tell you this. You can say whatever you want to say about me because I've been through it all, honey.
I begged this boy to talk about this.
Okay? But I understand how someone's transparency can save someone else's life. I struggle with keloid skin, which is really prevalent in the Black African American community. Very prevalent. I mean, white people can get it too, but it really is mainly with Black people.
Melanin or something. Right?
Yes. And out of all my siblings, I was the one. Like, why? You know what I mean? And then you grow up angry with God. Like, ever since I was a teenager, in and out of surgery. And then one point, I had lost my job several years ago, and I couldn't afford to get no surgery. I mean, it was a bad time. And I remember I was serving my pastor. My pastor would not let me sit down. I wanted to sit in the back. I didn't want to do nothing because I was so embarrassed. When I say that I had keloids on my face the size of golf balls, it was something I couldn't hide. And I suffered with kids. You know how honest kids are. Very honest. They don't mean no harm. They just honest. Do you not know what it was like to walk and people shrink up and walk away from you like you were the ugliest thing on the earth? But yet you still trying to believe God, but you mad at him at the same time because he said he could heal you, and you got to live day by day because you know when God say he'll do something, that could take years. And that's what a lot of people don't tell y'all. When God sends you a promise,
you can't spend 3 times and get it on Monday.
He don't do it on earth time. He do it on his time, and he dwells in eternity where there's no time. So I was in the church. I was, becoming a minister, doing all this stuff, but I was so angry with the Lord because I couldn't get rid of these. When I say that they were on both sides of my face and they were this big. Could you imagine that? Living like that every day of your life. Couldn't find a job because you weren't hireable. Couldn't get no help. And then one day, I went to my godfather's church, and the woman there I never met before said, I'm going to help you. She saw the pain in my eyes.
See, somebody saw it.
See, but I was around all these people that loved me. That's why when people say they love me, and they could be friends I had for years, it don't mean nothing to me. Because it's only a few on my hand that I can count that actually showed it. So that stuff don't mean nothing to me because I've been through the ringer. I've been through stuff that people will kill themselves over. So when you say, oh, you love me, no, you don't. You don't know what that is.
At all.
Love is, I see you suffering because you have these keloids. I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to help you. And that's what this woman did. I never met her a day in my life. And that woman she got me on a radio show. She had an internet radio show at the time. And she put me on her show to tell my story and to get sponsors to get help. And then one day the Lord spoke to her, woke her up out of her sleep and spoke to her and told her to write Stephanie Stahl on CBS 3. And immediately the next day I got a call from CBS 3. I'm like, what the heck? Where'd this come come from? And then the woman called me and said, the Lord told me to do this for you. Stephanie Stahl hooked up with the surgeon that used to cut me all the time when I was a kid. And I got a free surgery. You know how thousands of dollars that would have been for free? 2 surgeries because they were so big. And they televised it. Oh, my God. On television. It was a 2-series story. They did a before and after. Only God could do something like that.
That lady was an angel.
But this ain't the thing. This ain't the only thing. They grew back. See, they don't stay away. They come back. So even after all of that happened, year after year after year of going back and forth and getting cut by a needle, that's no joke on your face, y'all.
And you conscious, correct?
Yes. That's no joke, y'all. Over and over again. And not just on your face, they're all over your body. So do you know what it's like not only growing up black and gay, because that in itself is a dynamic, but feeling ugly. Everybody that knows me will tell you I think I'm the ugliest thing in the world.
Wearing a tank top in the gym is something that I've always wanted to do, but I can't do because there are keloids all over my chest, on the back of my shoulders, and a little bit down my arms. So I can't wear what normal people can wear in the gym. I have to stay covered up. I can't go to the beach because I would have to stay covered up.
And there's nothing that they can say to make me change that because it's embedded in me because I see what they don't see. Mm-hmm. And I have to go through certain things that they don't have to go through. Mm-hmm. Do you see this here? I have to take hair and put it over my face. She's going to cry. Don't you do it. But I would have never thought to do this. My best friend right here, she said, Louis, just get some hair. Come down to my house. I'm going to put some hair together and glue it on your face. I would have never thought to do anything like that. It just never even crossed my mind. And she said, come on down. I'm going to put it on your face. We're going to see how this works. That girl showed me. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. Y'all talk about friends. I had people around me for years that only care about me because I make them laugh. But it's these kind of friends. I don't care who gets offended by this. I know who my friends are. That's why I call people loved ones now. They were getting so big, because they're big under here, that she stepped in and did something I never thought. That's what God does. Do you not know how hard it is for me to tell y'all that? That I have to get up every day and do this. People can get up and go about their business. Not me. I got to spend an hour or 2 in the bathroom looking okay. Putting a beard together to make myself look presentable so you won't throw up when you see me. Y'all have no idea. Oh, he's fly. Oh, he's fabulous. Oh, he's this. He's the baddest stylist ever. He is this and he is that. And everything around him is just fabulous. But you don't know that I'm dying inside because of something I can't change and because of how ugly I feel every day of my life. Do you not know that my relationship with God has suffered tremendously? But yet, I can still move the hand of God because I know how to.
Your heart is right.
And my heart is right. Hurt. Devastated. Don't understand why I'm struggling and going through the things I'm going through. That half of y'all will kill. When I see people go off over a pimple, Tina, I mean, the pimple be like this. And they just...
Stupid stuff, man.
I would kill to have that struggle.
Absolutely.
And not have to worry about how I'm going to get surgery. I can't get surgery. It's too expensive. So what do? God brings people in your life to show you how to get along.
Improvise, baby. Fake it till you make it. You are going to make it. I'm just saying.
Everybody can't handle the truth of who you really are. Everybody can't handle your essence. Everybody can't handle the stuff you suffer through in silence.
They can't. Y'all be caught up on the exterior. Y'all have no
idea.
Y'all have no clue. Even us doing this vlog, y'all have no clue what we go through before every episode.
What? You think we just sit in the car and turn the phone on?
Y'all have no clue. And you wouldn't unless we tell you. But the key is the reason why I'm saying this is all the suffering that goes on in people's lives, and y'all have no clue. This is why it's good to just be nice. Just be kind to people.
Because you never know who.
You never know what your laugh, your kiki, your posting of them, making fun of them, your subs, your
memes.
You never know what it's going to do to that person.
That's
if
right.
they see it.
That's right.
You don't know if they like this already. And all it's going to take is them seeing what you talking about. You got to be mindful of your actions. People are going through so much suffering in science.
Yes.
From the pulpit to the back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Even outside the church, people are going through stuff. Just be nice. Just be kind.
Show love.
Show love.
That's what Jesus did. That's all he did, Tina. That's why he was moved with compassion before he did any miracle.
Oh my God. Love.
But we're so mean. We're so nasty. We're so judgmental.
I've never seen so much of it in my life. Like, it's really, really ridiculous.
And the people that do it, Tina, are the worst. Like, they got it all together. That's what I don't get. The men that used to talk about me like a dog and stop talking to me because I'm openly gay were the same. And everybody knew it. They was just waiting for them to come out and say it.
I mean,
they still are waiting for them to come out and say it. Hello?
Another group of people, parents, that we need to be mindful of who suffer in silence. I mean, suffer in silence like you would not believe. Teenagers and children. And we always push these. I won't say we because I don't do it. Adults push these kids to the back, ignore them, figure it's just a part of growing pains. Y'all don't have no clue what these kids are going through. And in this day and age of social media, bullying, and just the perception that Hollywood presents to these kids, and them trying to keep up with the Joneses and look a certain way and not be happy in their skin, not be happy in their nappy, okay? They stressing about school, they stressing about friends, they stressing about fitting in. They even stress, I promise you, they even stress about God. They really do. Because you see a person one way in church, and then out of church, there's confusion going on. So, I mean, personally speaking, I was talking to my son the other day, my youngest son, my 13-year-old, and he wants to do boxing. So I was like, that's a great stress reliever. So he was like, yeah, because I got lots of stress. And I was like, you know me as a mom, my first thing, it ain't no girl, is it? No. Well, what is it? It's schoolwork. Mainly schoolwork. And he goes to a predominantly white school. So he got a couple strikes against him. He black. He's a man surrounded by a bunch of white people. So, that's a lot of stress. And the school district that we're in is one of the top rated in Pennsylvania. So there's a lot of stress on the kids there to excel.
Oh, God.
So just imagine just having that alone. Having that, wanting to pass, first of all, wanting to satisfy your parents, hoping they won't get upset, if you fail. Struggling with something but not really knowing how to voice it. That's that suffering in silence. And so therefore you keep it in, hoping and praying that it go away. But you can't. You got to talk about it. These kids are suffering. Y'all parents.
My mother suffered in silence. When I say churchgoer, I mean, as soon as you hit A flat, she was the first one on the floor praising God.
Ain't that crazy?
The hat would pop off. I used to hate sitting next to my mom because she would jump up, and she was wild back then. Hat all over the place, earrings. But my mother was in a relationship where my dad was fighting her. He was cheating on her. But my mom never lost her praise.
I'm telling
That's why she praised God so hard in that church. And I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on. But my mom was fighting not to lose her mind. I watched my parents fight. My mother is not one. She's not. She ain't no coward. She don't care how big you are. She coming for you.
Punks jump up.
So when he came in the house, she was charging for him.
Wow.
So my life growing up, running and hiding under a table. The spirit of fear. To the point where I couldn't sleep with the light on, with the light off. Fear.
Suffering. So mom is suffering and son is suffering because mom going through whatever. Son don't know what's going on. He can't say nothing about it. So what he got to do? Hold all that in and hide.
So
suffering.
What parents don't understand is that children are wide open spiritually and vulnerable. This is why the enemy attacks them at a young age. Let me tell you something about Satan, and I'm not giving him no glory. He's very cunning. He's very cunning. He knows that the fight isn't much of a fight when they're children because they're open and receptive to whatever.
And vulnerable.
So when you fighting, cussing, carrying on in front of them kids, guess what's happening? Them spirits are seeping right on in there and going right in that child. And that's how the curses go.
When you on the phone talking about Sister Sue, who you was just kicking with.
Gossiping.
What?
Backbiting.
What? They hear it. All that. What? And it starts confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
That's the same moment because we both looking at this.
I just that was a ...
Because this is so broad. This is a so broad situation. We're talking about people who suffer in silence.
Everybody can relate.
What about pastors who suffer in silence?
Wow.
They don't have the money to keep the building open. They don't have the faithful members that tithe. They might be going through something in their own relationship with a spouse.
They gotta counsel members and
why do you think they've been committing suicide?
I mean, and stepping down.
Because you gotta look a certain way to keep them. But who's gonna keep you?
If we all would just speak up and speak out.
Speak up.
None of this stuff. Because I guarantee you, something that you're going through, somebody else has already gone through it. So just speak up. That's the reason why God allows. He don't be putting us in stuff to try to kill us. He allows it. This is why he allows tests, trials, and tribs so that we can go through it, build up ourselves, our character, our everything, but so more so that we can help somebody else along the way. Let me tell you about suffering in silence. 2017
was the year of hell.
That year.
Oh, God.
Seriously, y'all.
No,
that year almost took me out.
Tell them between June and July.
And I'm going there. So, living in Hell House. Now, I told y'all I had drug addicts underneath me. They would purposely make noise to keep us up. Okay,
purposely.
They didn't have jobs. These were younger peoples, and turns out they were related to the landlord. That's why nothing was ever done. If he did kick somebody out, somebody else came in because his son lived there. So it was all his son's friends that was rotating through the doors. Okay, these people would purposely make noise. Towards the end of us getting out of there, the son had access to the basement where our electric was. He would flicker our electricity on and off. Okay. When I say my husband was about to go to jail for killing somebody, y'all, I'm 2017. So let's go to June 2017. To be exact, July 3rd, 2017 was a Monday. I'm outside taking a walk or whatever, okay? I go to the mailbox. I see that the landlord says something to the effect of, "Oh, we're not going to be renewing your lease, blah, 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 blah." The lease was supposed to be up in September of 2017. So we like, okay, we didn't want to be there anyway because they were the worst. But at the same token, we were like, where we going to go? Like, where we going to go? Because at this time, at this point in time, something that's crazy getting ready to go on. It's really going to be like, yo, where we going to go? So I come in the house from opening that letter. I go in the house. I get a phone call, but I missed the phone call. So I check the voicemail, and it is the voice of someone that I worked for saying, call me back. Call you back. What's up? Oh, I just think that we can no longer work together at this time. I can't work with you. You think you on my level. You think you better than me. What? Yeah, so I just can't do this at this time. I'm gonna need your address and stuff so I can send whatever. So I was just told that my lease is not being renewed, okay? And I was just laid off, fired, whatever. Okay. All right. Fast forward a couple weeks later, we're out to eat. My husband, my son, we out to eat. I'm feeling like crazy in the body. I'm feeling weird. We was actually going to go to the movies. I'm feeling so crazy. I was like, I don't do hospital. It's not that I'm not being wise, but I just don't trust them, because you go in there for a paper cut, you leave and they done amputated one of your arms. I'm just saying. So we went to the movies. I still wasn't feeling well. So my husband was like, yo, if you still feel crazy, I know how you feel, but we got to go to the ER. Go to the ER, and they're checking me for this pain that I had under my arm. It was like a shooting pain, really bad. So they took my blood, and they was like, Miss Watson, we're gonna have to what's the word?
It's not OMED, is it?
It's not OMED. You know, when they put you into the hospital, I couldn't think of the word, immediately, because your blood count is a 5 and it should be a 12. Ma'am, you are literally the Walking Dead. What?
And didn't even know it.
You have to get an emergency blood transfusion and an iron infusion, or you finna be up out of here. How were you walking around like this, they said? You didn't feel tired? Oh, I'm tired all the time. I can sleep and tired all the time. Okay, so were you ever dizzy? Yup. Headaches? Yup. So you didn't think that something was wrong? I don't know. I just thought maybe I was stressed out because of where I was living and what I had just encountered. Okay, losing a job, not having nowhere to live. So I get the blood transfusion, I get the iron infusion, everything is all well. I think a couple weeks after that, Vern comes running in the bedroom. Yo, bub, the tow truck outside, they taking your car. What? Your car. So at this point, y'all, I'm done. All of this, and mind you, through all of this, I'm still going to church. I still have a praise. You know what I'm saying? And when I tell people this story, it's funny because they always be like, oh my God, to look at you and talk to you, you never showed it. You would never know, because I was suffering in freaking silence.
She called me from the hospital and sounded just like that, just as normal. Tina, I'm coming. No, I'll be home. It was like she didn't show it.
Because I was so numb, y'all. I mean, when I say I was numb, I was dead. I was pretty much a carcass. So when they said, when the man, it was so like symbolic when he said, you were basically a walking zombie walking around here. He was like, he said, I'm just baffled at how you did not pass out. Like, I'm baffled at how you still breathing. Your blood count, ma'am, you basically ain't got no blood. He said you have less than half of the blood in your body that you should have to function as a human being.
Oh my God. Nobody but God.
And this is all I'm saying. We suffer in silence. Nobody knows what we go through because we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. But even bigger than that, sometimes we don't talk to even our closest friends because we know that they have their own things that they're dealing with. So we don't want to boggle anybody down with stuff, especially if it's stuff that's just like when I lived in Hell House, he was mad all the time. Louis, they doing this, they doing this, they doing this, they doing that, they doing it. And it was just like, every day these people did this. From the time we moved in to the time we moved out. Noise on just all types, any type of, oh my God. I'm so glad.
She lost her job. I lost my job. Same year. And mine started out that way in January. You thinking it's gonna be a great year? God gonna do it. I promise
you.
God
gonna
do it. He gonna do this.
This the year of refreshing. This the year of renewal. This the year.
You get that text message?
Baby.
Oh, we don't need you to come back no more.
Text message.
And I turned down other job offers that I had to stay here because I knew that staying here would be a great opportunity for me being under this person. Well, they tossed me out in the street like I was yesterday's trash.
I promise.
And all those other job offers, couldn't get them.
Oh.
Y'all have no idea.
No clue.
You look at the outward appearance. Because that's all we got. We're not going to look like what we go through.
No way.
Let me tell you something about a silent sufferer. If you're graced, God will put such a grace on you that you don't even look like nothing you're going through. You don't even smell like the smoke you in. That's grace. If I was to tell half the people what I'm going through now, you'd never believe me. Because grace makes me look like I got it all together.
Oh my God.
That's the power of God.
The power.
He will walk with you when you can't even see or feel him. Okay? Hello? Because I can't. But I know he's there.
Right.
Because he grants the grace to carry myself like I got $1 million.
That's powerful.
This is where you know him, baby.
Ooh.
You don't know him on A-flat and gospel concerts and shouting all day and posting on YouTube afterwards. You know him in the worst of the worst.
Bottom, in the valley low.
Darkness.
Ditches.
This is what counts. Now, everybody ain't going to survive because there are a lot of people that give up. Mm-hmm. But there are some people that's hanging on by a thread.
My.
How many of y'all out there hanging on by a thread and don't nobody know it because you look so good, baby? Male and female, y'all look good. How many of y'all out there are hanging on? Going to church, going to work, going home to your family, interacting with your friends, going on about your life, but something in you was just eating away at you every single day. And you can't tell nobody because they would never believe you and they would think you were crazy. How many of y'all are silently suffering? Wow. Some of y'all got divorced and never thought your marriage would end. And you trying to deal with it. They move on and marry someone else and they seem happy and you still alone. Suffering in silence. And you got to appear like you cool. So you got to put that tough roll on. I'm cool.
What about those who are married but have an affinity for the same sex? Suffering in silence. That cover up bride? Stop. Be honest, be real. First, be honest, be real. Because it's so an real, epidemic of this silent suffering. Epidemic.
Yes, it is.
And
that's how AIDS becomes an epidemic. But
stop. Just keep it one.
They would never do that. Because that would mean losing my position, losing my notoriety, losing people that care for me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be rejected. The fear of rejection is just as powerful as rejection itself.
Absolutely. Oh, God.
See, there's fear of rejection, self-rejection, and rejection.
You know what?
Spirits. And they keep you bound up and you suppress everything because you're so afraid. Remember I said fear opens up doors? Mm-hmm. You're so afraid. You're so afraid to live your truth.
Oh.
Don't you know God will deal with you more if you just be honest?
Because he already knows, beloved.
You'll get more out of him.
He already knows.
So all you do is you go to church and you get the church experience, but you don't know God.
The church experience.
You totally miss out on the kingdom because you worry about the church.
I can't.
The kingdom of God is where you operate in authority in his promises. By being truthful with yourself and him. But how many of you, dear men, because you're hiding, you operate in the church realm?
Oh my gosh.
Where there's no miracles. There's no prosperity.
No deliverance.
It's just the appearance of.
No deliverance.
No freedom.
Oh my God.
Because we're bound up in a lie.
Slavery.
Now I wasn't even going to go there. She brought that up. Since she brought it up, we touching all ends, baby. We touching all ends.
Because we, beloveds, we got to get up out of this.
We got to speak up.
It is not God's will for us to be sad and depressed.
It really isn't.
And oppressed. It's not his will.
It really isn't.
These are all things that we create amongst ourselves. Meanwhile, he's just sitting up there like...
Because of the choices that we make, Tina.
Absolutely.
They form our destiny.
Absolutely.
But God in his mercy has a way of escape.
You know what, sir? I can't.
For every single turn that we end up turning into. He has a way of escape for it.
Every single
That's just how good he is.
turn. Oh my gosh.
But it's a process, baby. And only the strong survive in that process. Everybody ain't going to make it through that process. Everybody can't handle the real God. You ain't going to be able to handle what he takes you through to bring you out of a thing. Everybody can't do it. Oh. And I get it. I get it.
Right.
Because I lived it. I know it. How many of y'all are suffering in silence?
Speak up. Y'all gotta talk to somebody. Speak. First of all, recognize whatever the suffering is.
There you go.
It.
There you go. The first acknowledgement.
First step. If you don't do that, then everything else is just gonna be.
If you gotta get a journal. If you can't find nobody to trust, because I understand that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a whole nother what episode.
If you can't find nobody to trust, get you a journal. Please. Get you one with a lock on it, though.
I mean.
Because if you live with other people, make sure you. Okay.
If you live with TMZ and Wendy Williams.
Oh.
Recognize your struggle. First and foremost.
You got to get it out of you.
And then once you recognize it, I truly know, I ain't gonna say believe, I know that God will show you what to do after that.
In his timing.
But
you got to make the first step. If you can't talk to God, write to him. I used to write letters to God. When I was too angry to talk to him. Because you remember that I would start screaming. And
son.
I couldn't talk. I would have to write. You got to find a way. When you fighting, baby, you will find a way to maneuver through this thing.
I promise. But if you're fighting, if you ain't fighting, then go on and stay. Go on. You ain't about nothing. But if you are willing to fight.
For your life.
Because 2018.
belongs to them who are willing to fight for their life. And that means my freedom is going to offend others because of the way I'm about to get free. But I don't care because my life means more to me than your feelings. Hello? Beloveds, the worst kind of suffering is the kind of suffering that you have to endure in silence.
You know, you think to yourself that all you have to do, keep it together. Let me stay busy. Just put one foot in front of the other. Keep it moving. Ignore the symptoms. Act like nothing is wrong. But, this is just your endless desire to stay in control.
Oh, and it's God, that's good.
It's built on your fear. Get over this fear.
Get over it.
You got to talk it out. Speak up. Don't suffer in silence because the suffering will eventually lead to death. Clap your hands with me. The Lord set you free. Say so you can. Yo, we thank y'all so much for tuning in again to You Mad the Vlog.
This was a deep one, y'all. Episode 5.
Episode 5, Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Make sure you guys, like, comment, and
subscribe.
Hit that notification bell down there so you get notified whenever we put up videos on YouTube. Beloveds.
My God.
If you are suffering with something, talk to somebody.
Yes.
Please don't hold it in.
It'll kill
Parents,
you.
talk to your kids.
Yes.
Don't be such militant, army men with your kids.
Yes.
It's okay to be their friend. It's okay to talk to them. Let them be comfortable with you.
Yes.
Women, if you're in abusive relationships.
My God.
Men, if you're in abusive relationships, talk to somebody. Don't feel like you have to stay there. That is the tactic of the enemy to keep you bound.
Listen, until next time, remember, open up your mouth because the Bible says that they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony.
You mad?